we did this last week. I got online dating expert to help me out. I went out on my first date, and I got to set this up for you. I met this girl, beautiful girl. She walked into the room. She was absolutely gorgeous, and I thought it would be a great idea to have her on the show with me. So I gave her a call and invited her on the show, and I didn't know that secretly my crew was recording the conversation. Let's show them what I'm talking about. Hi, Julie. It's David Nelson. Pretty good. Did I catch you at a bad time? Okay, good. How are you? It's funny. We got such huge success at our date on the internet. Not your name, but I teased the fact that I was at Match.com. Trying to get your name off Newsmax. We didn't mention anything. No, this was before we even met. Okay. Talk to you soon. Bye. Absolutely not. Well, obviously, that didn't go too well. I don't think there'll be a second date with Julie, so I need some help again. So joining me to help give me some expert advice is Julie Spira. She's online dating expert and author of the bestseller, The Perils of Cyber-Dating. Julie, what am I doing wrong?
You had your own real-life peril. Wow, too much too fast. Instant relationship. Come on my radio show. I mean, that's a little overwhelming to a woman. Typically, women like to slow the pace down.
Well, I was trying to impress her, Julie. I thought, when I was in rock and roll, if I was dating somebody, I always brought them, backstage or to the show, so I could perform. I figured if I put her in there, she could see, I've got a gig, I've got a job. I thought it would work. It obviously didn't.
No, I guess you could have sent her a link to the radio show link, and then she could have sort of eased her way into it. But you scared her. Wow, she's gone. So sorry.
So what do I do now? I've had the one date. I'm talking to a few girls. I stopped winking, by the way. I took your advice. And I also took your advice. I was on time at my last date. Now, I'm not notorious late. I'm terrible at that. So I'm going to try to change my habits here. But, I'm looking for somebody, that special someone, and I am reading the profiles now, for a first date, and it seems like what you do on Match.com, it's at least in my experience, it's a lot of first dates. What do you do? What's the most important thing on the first date? What should I be looking for?
Well, first of all, get to the pre-date. You've got to be on the phone with somebody after you've sent a few emails back and forth and see if you have any good phone chemistry. Certainly not like the last phone call where Dear Julie just sort of hung up on you. But see if there's some phone chemistry and then schedule your date. Definitely someplace casual. Sure, women love to be impressed with fine dining and things like that, but when somebody goes overboard, it's a little overwhelming. It suffocates us as women. So ease your way into it. Suggest 2 different places and ask her what she prefers. Say, do you prefer coffee or do you like lunch or dinner? And then let her decide what type of date she's the most comfortable with.
Let me ask you this, because we went out to dinner on that first date, and we're sitting at dinner and the bill comes, and she insisted on paying for half the bill.
Oh,
is that bad?
Girls don't like to go Dutch treat unless they're not into the guy. I mean, I'm so sorry to give you that bad news.
I'm dying of death here, Julia.
No. She offered to pay. Now, that's very generous. A lot of times women reach for the bill and say, I'd like to pay my half, just to sort of be, very generous and kind. And then the man should always insist and say, no, this is my treat. This is our first date. This is my treat. Because a man really should pay for the first date. What happens after that really depends upon your relationship, and we certainly want you to get to a second date.
One of the things I've noticed on Match.com, and I haven't quite figured this out, why would a girl favorite me? And for the audience, I'm guessing that favorite... Well, you explain it. You're the expert.
Okay. When you click on the favorite button next to some cute guy's profile or a woman's profile, it means you've taken a peek and you like what you've seen. You might be too busy to write your email now, and you might want to save it for another day. but it's somebody that you thought enough of that you might want to have a communication with. So if you see that someone has favorited you, the best thing you could do is send them an email, send her an email. Don't say, hey, I just saw you added me to your favorites list, because then she's going to think you're
But Julie,
a
this is what's
stalker.
happening to me. You know, a girl favorited me because you
Right.
get this little notification that somebody's favored you. I figure I'm in. All right. I'm
Right.
in. So I go and favorite her back, and I email her back. And when I go to her profile now, it says this profile is no longer available. I mean, I struck out like before I even did anything.
All right, first of all, if she favorites you, don't favorite her back. Be a man.
Why?
Look at the, right, because it's sort of a cat and dance. It's this digital love dance, and it's like the winking. I got you off the winking. If someone favorites you, it's basically an invitation to say, I'm going to step forward and write you an email. I'm not going to take this in-between approach and send you a favorite too. It's not really what she wants. She wants to hear from you. But she might have favorited 5 other guys, and she might have found someone that she wanted
that's
to date
terrible. I
exclusively.
mean, if you know, is it like that? Is it do you just go out and favorite everybody? You know, it
Guys
just
do
seems
it
like
all the time.
a
Guys
dating
do it all the
smorgasbord
time.
here. Wow, it looks like I've got a lot to learn, Julie. I think we're going to have you back on the show for
Let's do
successive weeks because I'm going to need a lot of help here. Thanks so much for being with us today. Thanks, Julie.
Thank you.
That, of course, was Julie.